venture development partnerships that we have, we are able to, align you with some of the partners that we have around. But it's a market. We cannot force the money givers to, to give you money. But again, we can sort of forcefully guide you to show that your business model works. Because if it doesn't work, then there's no how we can set you up. Because you might have the next bread, but it just might not be, business. It might be so beautiful to the eye, but how do you explain its viability to an average Nigerian investor? And in all my life within the innovation space, starting from the digital space to now, I have seen that the Nigerian investor is very hard to convince. And not because he or she doesn't want to put in money, but also because, again, who bears the risk, right? And so the risk also involves in, the kinds of resources that you get. So for us, we deal with private sector players, which is why we have the partnership with FC4S Lagos. We keep looking at what are the different finance models and who can we pull together. One of the things I know we've worked with FC4S is on SME learning framework. And many water companies are likely going to be SMEs. Whether you're a startup or you're a start down or whatever it is, you're still going to be an SME somewhere along the line. So how do we ensure that you are able to access funds? Which is why we did the SME learning framework with Development Bank of Nigeria. And we hope also that we can tie in other funders, particularly maybe guarantee companies and other types of companies that can safeguard private sector investments. Because if you don't think about the money and how the money can equally be secured, then the person giving you the money might not feel safe giving you the money. So as an innovation center, we always want to think beyond just that one investor, but also create a conducive environment for several other investors to be able to play. So for as much as we are very aspirational about the kind of blended finance model we will use, we are equally very hopeful that Nigerian venture financiers and also commercial financiers will have a deliberate attention to the water sector as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Victoria, Bankole was just talking about market collaboration. And Nestle Nigeria, you do have a great presence in Lagos, Abaji, here in the FCT. That's FCT, right? Yes. Mm-hmm. So how does Nestle support blue tech startups and initiatives that promote water access and sanitation in communities where it operates, where you operate?
Okay, so we haven't seen a lot of blue tech startups, right? Of course, we're collaborating with partners, OPS Wash, and all those partners, some GETF and all of that, to look at sustainable water solutions in our catchment areas and also try to grow the ecosystem in Nigeria. We've been part of various discussions to look at the opportunities for investment in water. But that being said, we're open when the startups are ready and not start downs, as Bankole was joking. When they are ready, I mean, it's something that we would be very happy to support.
Nestle Nigeria is open.
Yes, proof of concept, the viability, that's very important. For instance, we have projects that help to ensure access to water within the communities closest to our operations and from our sourcing centers, right? We make sure that there's water in those areas. One of the key things that was a challenge for us was to monitor those facilities, to keep them active, to ensure that we are able to measure how much water is being drawn out of it. It's not about the capacity of the water facility. It's to be sure that the people are really taking advantage of this facility that is within their neighborhood to sustain it. When there's a challenge, maintain it, and all of that. So it would really be great if we have investors in those areas who are able to support. Could we find more solar solutions and all of that? So it would be really important to support that. But now we are forced to work with not homegrown solutions, and it will be something that will be really great to see. I'm excited to listen to what the Lagos Finance FC4S is doing, right? And to know that Bankole is a part of it. I just took a note that I need to ask them about that, because it would be great to have solutions that are homegrown. I remember talking about a project with my team. We work across the world, and so we came together in a meeting, and they were proposing bringing a consultant from somewhere. We're happy to get outside as well. But I really wanted to find a solution in Nigeria, And I said, give me the opportunity to find the solution in Nigeria. You know, that saves us a lot of complexities, talking about foreign exchange, transfers, and all of that. So it will really be great to have that. Thank you.
Thank you. Find a solution in Nigeria. And so, Mr. Orison, you said earlier, again, similar to find the solutions in Nigeria, you said countries know the solutions. So can you share with us some examples of innovative blue tech solutions or projects supported by the African Development Bank that have demonstrated success in improving water management and access in African countries?
Thank you very much. Maybe I'll start first from Nigeria, starting from home. You know, this morning we all established the critical link between climate change and you know, the advancement of the desertification, especially in the northern part of Nigeria. So one important project that we are doing, which we work very closely with the Yobe State, is what we call the Environmental Change and Climate Adaptation Project. This project is seeking to, you know, stabilize the advancement of the Sahara Desert southwards. And how are we doing this? We are establishing green belts across the state in various local governments, in public institutions such as schools, hospitals, etc., etc. Now, in doing so, we have to recognize that, you know, the livelihood of the people is very linked to the sustainability of this type of projects. So, as part of the project, we are also providing livelihood opportunities to the communities. And I said that we are doing this at this time with the Yobe State because we want to start small, get the results, and then we expand to the other states. But beyond that, again, in the northeastern part of the country, we have a very important project which we call the Inclusive Basic Services Delivery Project. And this is being done in states like Borno, Adamawa, etc., etc. The idea is that we need to provide services very efficiently and sustainably in some of these communities to make the communities, how will I put it, you know, get the opportunities to avoid what led to some of these conflicts that occurred in this particular region. So we are building schools, we are building hospitals, we are building marketplaces, and in addition to that, we are making sure that all these communities and facilities are provided with water supply and sanitation facilities. And the results so far are showing that these interventions, of course, the total cost of the project is about $250 million US, and we are halfway through. And the results are showing that these interventions are contributing significantly in stabilizing the communities and providing resilience to issues of conflict. So we think this is a very, very important project. Of course, beyond the northern part of the country, we are providing support to water facilities in other cities. I'll mention Port Harcourt, water supply and sanitation projects. I'll mention Akure, for example, and many others, just to talk about what we are doing in Nigeria. But when we move beyond the shores of Nigeria, as I said earlier, we intervene in water sector, water-related projects across the continent. And, you know, some of these projects support the blue economy. We invest in port projects, and I'll give the example of a country like Cape Verde, where we know that the economy of the country relies a lot on the blue economy. So we provided support to rehabilitate 2 key projects and also to protect marine life because that's what drives the economy, and to train the people in the areas of, even monitoring the water resources and even technologies for, repair of shipping facilities and et cetera, et cetera. And we do this in many countries, Morocco, both inland and those countries along the coast. Coming closer to home, we have the Benin-Togo road, and along this road is along the coast. So we are doing coastal water supply projects, as well as protecting the coastal infrastructure to make sure that marine-based ecosystems are well protected. So these are a few examples that are yielding very positive results that I can speak about. Thank you very much.
Perfect. Thank you. Based on the complexities, you have done interventions in Port Harcourt, Akure, all the way to Cape Verde, based on their peculiarities. So I would ask Emmanuel, can you discuss, you did initially tell us about the Henry example and what you're doing there. Can you discuss other specific projects or partnerships led by FC4S Lagos that have successfully leveraged blue tech innovations to address water-related challenges and promote sustainability in Lagos and beyond?
Mic again. Apologies. Yes, thank you very much for that question. I might have to do a Tony Blair on you.
Recording in progress.
We thought it was the fact that the port was sinking that they moved port activities to worry. But now understanding climate change, it wasn't the port probably that was sinking. It was probably rising sea level. You understand that? It's because I'm living in Lagos and I now understand that the port was not sinking. It wasn't going down. It was rising the water level. You understand? Now, I bring that to Lagos because Lagos is among 11 cities in the world that could sink in the next. There is Mumbai, there is Miami, and other countries, other cities. And so, cut to the crux of the matter, what is the solution? Eco Atlantic City has been built. That Great Green Wall covers just a small segment of the challenge we have in Lagos. Lagos is below sea level, 0.8 meters below sea level. The sea slopes into the city, unfortunately, rather than the city to be sloping into the sea. Okay, so we need to provide that Great Green Wall, and because the AFDB is here, I will make that appeal to look further into this challenge to save Lagos, because that's a commercial capital of Nigeria. We need to move that wall all the way down from Badagry to Ekpe, because there's 180 kilometer of shoreline there. Nigeria has 873 kilometers of shoreline, and so Lagos accounts for 21% of it. Now, recently, we celebrated the acquisition of 16,300 kilometers of continental shelf, right, from the UN. So but be careful what you collect, because that means you have more water challenges to deal with. Best financial solution, a blue bond. What has FC4S done? I've done a capacity building for Lagos State government on how to issue a blue bond, organized in partnership with financial sector deep in Africa, in Kenya, that is financed by Britain. Okay, they've helped me. We partnered together, did a blue bond session for Lagos so they can issue a blue bond. I'm hoping they will still issue it within the next few months. We've been on it for some time. I've also done resources about how to issue a blue bond. Blue bonds are bonds that you issue to finance the blue economy, to finance goal 14 of the SDG, life below water, marine technology, ports, infrastructure, fisheries. You can even use part of the process to face the challenge that we have in terms of overflooding of the entire River Niger belt that flows into the ocean. So all the states along the River Niger belt, we know that 2 years ago they suffered serious flooding that affected 31 states in the country. That challenge is still that the amount of rainfall that will occur this year from from the prediction that we have, show that that flooding could return. I was in Asaba. We took the videos. That challenge is still there. So we need to issue that blue bond at the state level and at the federal government level, and we'll seek the support of the AFDB and the World Bank so that we can issue that blue bond. Have countries issued blue bond before? Yes. Seychelles. Seychelles is a small island nation. I see Lagos as a small island nation because it's surrounded by water. Indonesia, I think, about 3 countries have done a blue bond. We need that particular financial instrument to be one of the instruments we can use to combat this challenge. So I don't want us to lose focus on the importance of that, because most of our states are exposed to the danger of rise in sea level. So I've mentioned our partnerships. We partner with FSD Africa, Kenya, to do workshops on the blue economy and raising blue finance, which is blue bonds or blue loans. We partner with them to also do, that's for Lagos State government, and at the federal level with the Federal Ministry of Water Resources. We want to do more. We're working with OPS WASH to do more. So from what Bankole mentioned, we're going to focus on the blue economy, on how we're going to make sure that we combat that challenge frontally and not be pretending to be to do the ostrich style, and pretending that your head is below the ground but your body is exposed. So I think that is an area